where he studies in particular issues around labor and issues around municipalities. And he's a huge supporter of the and a spokesperson for the Toronto Airport Workers Council, who have been fighting for good jobs, quality jobs at the airport, but also against the plan to privatize the Toronto airport. Stephen, come on up.
Thank you, Miles. And thanks everyone for coming on a cold day today. I wish that privatization was only a provincial issue. It's not. It's a federal issue, and it's a global issue. The workers at Pearson, we call YYZ, 50,000 workers, working for 300 plus companies, contracting out regularly, going for the bottom wage that the employers can possibly get away with paying. And it's all about one thing. It's about setting up Pearson for a big fire sale privatization. The Greater Toronto Airports Authority is a not-for-profit, non-share corporation. They would love to put that on Bay Street. The pension funds want it. The Bay Street lawyers want it. The banks want it. But you know what? The people don't want it. And that's the difference. Now, just to put things in perspective, the GTAA's revenues last year were about $1 billion. The ground lease that it pays to the federal government, it generates revenues to the federal government, about $130 million each year. And then, after it makes that payment, it still has a surplus of about $100 million each year. You can see why the banks want a piece of that action. But if they do, all we'll have is further precarity, further low-wage jobs, more contracting out, and the airport used to be a decent place to work. It used to be a place where people could support their families. Now, I wish that this was only a problem in Canada, but it's not. And we have an international solidarity effort with Korean workers at Incheon Airport in Seoul, represented by the Korean Public Sector Workers and Transportation Workers Union, the KPTU. And they've been fighting privatization since 2008. 90% of the workers at that airport are precarious. The leaders of KPTU have been put in prison. All about the same fights that we're doing at this airport, in airports around the world, and in Canada, of course. So I'd like to have your support in fighting against the privatization of YYZ. And I'd also like to have all your support with those workers in Korea who are putting their lives on their line, their freedom on the line, to keep their assets public. Because if Pearson goes private, guess what? You're not flying cheap anywhere. That's the rule. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming here. We're going to fight privatization in Ontario, Canada, and we're going to fight it globally as well. Thank you very much.
Got a chant from the airport workers, which is familiar. So, solidarity. So, solidarity. So, solidarity. So, solidarity. So what I'd like to do is introduce our next speaker here, someone who understands solidarity, who's a community organizer, who's been working in the fight against poverty, for quality public housing here in Toronto, as well as the fight to defend our public services. Alejandra Ruiz is here from Acorn, Toronto. Thanks very much.